The marble floor gleamed under the bright daylight streaming in from the tall kitchen windows. It looked pristine, but only because 70-year-old Elvira Montiel, a frail woman with graying hair and aching joints, had spent hours scrubbing it on her knees. Her thin hands trembled as she wrung out the mop, her knuckles red and swollen. A bucket of cold water stood beside her, nearly empty, yet another task waiting to be done. Her breathing was shallow, and her back throbbed from bending for so long. Finally, unable to bear the pain anymore, Elvira whispered in a voice so soft it was almost drowned by the clinking of utensils, "My hands hurt. Please, I need to rest for just a moment." The words were barely out of her mouth when a sharp, mocking laugh cut through the air. Standing above her was Isabella, her glamorous daughter-in-law, wearing a fitted sky-blue dress and red heels that clicked menacingly against the tile. Isabella held a shiny metal bucket filled with fresh water, her perfectly manicured fingers gripping the handle with deliberate cruelty. "Rest." Isabella scoffed, her face twisting with disdain. "You think you deserve to rest after doing such a terrible job? Look at that spot, you missed it. Keep scrubbing, Elvira. Keep scrubbing until this floor shines like glass. A maid's work is never done." Elvira's eyes welled up with tears, not just from the physical pain but from the humiliation. She had been a woman of grace and dignity her whole life, the beloved wife of a successful businessman, Eduardo Montiel, who built a massive empire with his own two hands. This mansion, these gleaming floors, the lavish chandeliers, all of it existed because she and her husband had worked tirelessly for decades. But now, Eduardo was gone, buried under the earth, and his empire was left in the hands of their only son, Christian. Christian had always been her pride and joy. Gentle and kind-hearted as a boy, he had grown into a responsible man, taking over his father's company with skill and dedication. When he married Isabella, Elvira had been overjoyed at first, believing she was gaining a loving daughter. She never imagined that Isabella's sweetness was just a mask, hiding ambition and greed so dark it could poison a family. As Elvira struggled to keep cleaning, Isabella smirked and deliberately tipped the bucket, spilling cold water across the already spotless floor. The icy splash soaked Elvira's knees and hands, making her gasp. Isabella leaned down and hissed, "Clean it again. And do it faster this time. Or do you want Christian to think you're useless?" In the doorway, unnoticed at first, Christian stood frozen, briefcase in hand, his expression stunned and unreadable. He had come home early from a business meeting, eager to surprise his wife and mother, but what he saw was like a punch to the gut. His mother, the woman who had sacrificed everything for him, was kneeling like a servant while his wife towered over her with cruel delight. Before we go further, if you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel, Kindness Journal. Don't forget to comment below with the word kindness to show that you stand for love and compassion over cruelty. Christian's fists clenched, but he didn't rush in. Instead, he silently watched, his heart breaking. He had suspected Isabella wasn't as kind as she pretended, but seeing this moment with his own eyes was like watching a nightmare unfold. Isabella, oblivious to her husband's presence, continued to belittle Elvira. She picked up a white linen napkin and deliberately dropped it onto the wet floor. "Pick it up," she demanded. "You want to live in this house, eating our food and enjoying our luxury? Then you'll earn it. You'll work until I say you're done." Elvira reached for the napkin with trembling fingers, her voice cracking as she whispered, "I built this home with Eduardo. This is my home too." Isabella threw back her head and laughed cruelly. "Your home? No, dear Elvira, you're nothing now. Eduardo is gone, and Christian belongs to me. Everything here is mine. You're just an old, useless woman who should be grateful we let you stay." Those words sliced through Christian like a blade. His mother's muffled sob, her hunched figure trembling with exhaustion, he couldn't stand it any longer. "Enough." Christian's voice thundered across the room. Isabella spun around, startled, her face paling as she saw him standing there, eyes blazing with fury. The bucket clattered to the floor as her grip loosened in shock. "See Christian. You're home early." Christian didn't let her finish. Striding forward, he pulled his mother gently to her feet, his arms trembling with emotion. "Mother, you don't have to do this anymore," he said, his voice breaking. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know she was treating you this way. I swear to you, this ends now." Elvira clung to her son, her tears soaking his suit jacket. For weeks, she had hidden Isabella's cruelty from him, not wanting to burden him or cause tension in his marriage. She had told herself she could endure it, that Christian didn't need to know. But now, seeing him defend her, she felt both relief and sorrow. Isabella, however, was far from defeated. She crossed her arms and sneered, trying to regain control. "Christian, don't be foolish. Your mother is exaggerating, playing the victim as always. She's just trying to turn you against me." Christian turned to her slowly, his expression cold and unyielding. "I saw everything, Isabella. With my own eyes. There's no excuse for what you've done. You humiliated my mother in her own home, the home my father built. You've crossed a line." For the first time, Isabella faltered, her confidence cracking. She reached out to him desperately. "Christian, please, you don't understand." But Christian raised a hand, silencing her. "No, Isabella. I understand perfectly. I thought you were a partner, someone who would care for this family as much as I do. Instead, you've shown me nothing but selfishness and cruelty. You've forgotten what truly matters." The room fell silent except for Elvira's quiet sobs. Christian looked at his mother, then back at Isabella, and made a decision that would change their lives forever. "From this moment on, my mother will never lift a finger in this house again. She will live here with dignity and respect, as she deserves. And as for you, Isabella, you need to leave. Immediately." Isabella gasped, her face twisting with rage. "Leave? You would choose her over me? After everything I've done for you?" Christian's voice was steady and resolute. "You didn't do it for me, Isabella. You did it for yourself. My father built this empire with love and integrity, values you clearly don't share. I won't let you poison this family any longer." Realizing she had truly lost, Isabella's defiance crumbled into bitterness. She stormed out of the room, her heels clattering against the marble like angry drumbeats. Moments later, the sound of the front door slamming echoed through the mansion. As the silence settled, Christian turned back to his mother, his expression softening. "Mother, I'm so sorry it took me this long to see the truth," he whispered. Elvira shook her head gently, wiping her tears. "No, my son. You have nothing to apologize for. I hid the truth because I didn't want to hurt you. But you've always been my strength. Eduardo would be proud of the men you've become today." The two embraced tightly, the warmth of their bond mending the wounds Isabella had inflicted. Christian vowed silently that he would spend the rest of his life ensuring his mother knew how loved and valued she was. In the days that followed, the mansion felt lighter, brighter. Elvira no longer scrubbed floors or suffered in silence. Instead, she spent her mornings tending to the garden she loved, her afternoons reading by the sunlit window, and her evenings sharing laughter and stories with her son. Christian, meanwhile, worked tirelessly to honor his father's legacy, guided by the principles of kindness and integrity. Months later, at a charity event hosted in Eduardo's memory, Christian spoke publicly for the first time about what his family had endured. His voice trembled slightly as he shared his mother's story, urging others never to overlook the quiet suffering of those they love. The audience was deeply moved, many wiping away tears. Elvira watched from the front row, her heart swelling with pride. "No matter how powerful we become," Christian concluded, "our true wealth lies in the love and respect we give to others. Let us never forget that." The crowd erupted into applause, the sound like a wave of healing crashing over them all. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Kindness Journal to keep spreading love and compassion. And before you go, comment below with the words "Family First" if you believe in protecting and cherishing the ones who truly matter. Elvira smiled through her tears as Christian joined her on stage, holding her hand high for all to see. In that moment, she knew Eduardo was watching from above, proud of the family they had built, a family that had survived cruelty and emerged stronger than ever. And so, under the warm glow of daylight and the applause of grateful hearts, the Montiels began a new chapter, one built not on wealth or power, but on unshakable love.